Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My dear children, how are you? MashaAllah, MashaAllah, you have started to learn about seera. That's really good. So, whenever we are going to start seera, first we are going to say durood and then our dua, and then we are going to start our lesson. So, let's say the durood. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي آمين. Now, before learning seerah, we need to understand why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Arabia for the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Arabs basically, from the time of the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, were on the religion of Islam. They only and only worshipped one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam settled his son Ismail alayhi salam in Makkah. So Ismail alayhi salam, when he grew up, he married an Arab woman and he had a lot of children. So they spread across Arabia and they formed different tribes, right? But in those times there was a man with the name of Amr bin Luhay, and he was a famous person, influential person. He once went to Syria and saw that there are people who are worshipping idols. So he brought Hubal named idol to Mecca and he put it inside Kaaba. Since he was a very influential person and people used to listen to him, so all the people started to worship Hubal. And soon people started to make their own idols like Lat and Manat and Uzza. So all the tribes, they had their own idols, and in each and every person's house he had his own idol. So the idol worshipping started in Makkah, where people used to worship only one God. They used to worship the idols, they did sajda to them, they would bring offerings of gold, silver and different things to these idols, and they would sacrifice their animals in the name of those idols. And they started to do this shirk. Now, shirk means making partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and believing that someone other than Allah can do the same thing, like these idols can do what Allah can do. Na'udhu billah, na'udhu billah. Other than this shirk, they had some other bad habits like drinking alcohol and gambling, and they changed the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam too. At that time, around Arabia, there were two superpowers, like Roman Empire, and they were Christians, and then Persian Empire, and they were fire worshippers. And then there were Jews too. Arabs were mostly merchants. They would buy things from one country and sell in another country or one place to another, right? Now we might wonder why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose Arabia for his last prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There must be something good in those people. These people were so generous and had such a big heart for the guests, right? They would do anything for their guests. And they were so trustworthy, truthful people. Once they would promise, they would never ever break it, even if they have to die for their promise. They had a lot of self-respect, like their respect was the most honorable thing in their eyes, and they would do anything for that. And on top of that, they were really, really simple people. They didn't have big, huge castles and things to take care of. No sofas, no big buildings, no decoration pieces. They were simple, simple people. So their minds were empty and clean. They were Bedouins and they were close to the nature and the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They were close to animals and they loved that life. And their life was too simple. So, because of their truthfulness, their generosity, their self-respect, and their simplicity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose this nation to be the first followers of his last prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now inshallah next time we'll see how this all started and when was Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam born, what was that time and what happened. Inshallah bi'idhnillah. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.